How you can fix your subconscious anxiety. Now, your subconscious is very critical to improve. If you can improve your subconscious actions through your conscious actions, your subconscious anxiety can be relieved. Now, what is a subconscious? I've made previous videos talking about this, but your subconscious is anything you do that you are not knowingly doing. So when you are sleeping and breathing, you are subconsciously breathing. Maybe even right now you are subconsciously breathing, but now that I've brought the awareness to your breathing, you are actually taking active control of your breathing and actually consciously breathing. So why is the subconscious so important to us? Why is tackling or overcoming our subconscious anxiety important? The importance of our subconscious is the foundation to alleviating anxiety in general, because if you're living in a subconscious anxiety state, then you're actually just making your life worse. And essentially, you can break this through taking conscious actions to break the habit that has formed in your subconscious. So I'll explain, obviously, what you can do to remove this subconscious anxiety and what I've done in my own experience. But before I get onto that, I want to tell you that consistent PTSD can actually lead to subconscious anxiety. So, what do I mean by this? If your childhood has been very rough, let's just say a lot of violence or abuse, like if you were shouted at or beaten as a child constantly, like consistently, then sadly but truly your subconscious anxiety is in pain and is struggling. It's struggling to cope with all those memories, all those images that happened in the past. Now, most of us do heal from these type of things naturally. As we become older, we start to understand that these punishments, these, beatings, these shoutings, they were all from a place of love. But sometimes remembering these things can bring a lot of worry for a lot of people. Like I tend to not worry about these things anymore. I definitely used to dwell on the past life and PTSD of like just growing up, and but I would say that I definitely did have a loving family that cared about me, and most of the time all these things that influenced my anxiety as a child, when looking back at it, I'm grateful because they actually made me become who I am now. And that's very important. Let's be honest. That's very important. To attach to a certain identity through your childhood is very important to bring to your awareness. Being able to accept that you are the definition of your foundation, your childhood, is the first step to alleviating all this subconscious anxiety. When you go back to the roots and you identify the causes of certain responses in your body, especially subconscious responses. So, obviously, subconscious is anything that happens in your body and you're not actually taking the action to do it. So, when you hiccup, like you didn't consciously hiccup. Like most people don't want to like hiccup, but your body has reacted because of something. Like it could be anything. There's a lot of reasons why people hiccup, but because of that reason, you have that because of something you've done wrong, not necessarily wrong, but your body is uncomfortable, and because it's uncomfortable, it's hiccuped. And it could be maybe you need to hold your breath and regulate your breathing. Maybe you need to drink water. Maybe your posture is not as great. Usually when my posture is not good, I hiccup, or like when I need to like drink water, or could be a various amount of reasons, but that's a subconscious action. And that is because something you did consciously caused you to subconsciously hiccup. So it's just the same with anxiety. The reason you feel certain triggers of anxiety is because something you've been doing consciously has actually triggered this subconscious anxiety response. And I think it's very important, very, very important to assess why does your body respond to certain things and how is it responding to certain things. I think it's very important to know how and why your body responds to certain things. And there is a certain degree of self-awareness that one must have to be able to identify these certain bodily responses. And the problem with today's society is a lot of us are not self-aware. Even if I was to ask you right now, are you self-aware? Like, majority of you would say, yes, I am. Oh, yeah, I'm self-aware. But you don't really notice 70% of the things that your body does. Like, you might take a little bit of awareness to it, but you don't actually like go down to the root, the cause of this problem. How did this thing begin? Like, if you're depressed, you might just think, oh, it was the phone call this morning, but you don't take it back to like the accumulation of all the problems or all the specific problems that led to that depression to worsen. I think it's very important to firstly always go back to the roots. If you can like clear the roots, then it just makes your subconscious anxiety a lot easier to just tackle these responses. But also, not only do you need to go back to the roots, and when I say go back to the roots, obviously I'm not saying think about the past and worry about the past, and I'm just saying identify what is truly burdening your heart. Identifying is just having clarity over what has happened in the past, and that's all it is, just having clarity, knowing what happened, just identifying this specific problem and why it's giving your body pressure, or why your body or thoughts are responding to this pressure, and having no emotion to it, no resentment, no like hard feelings. Just identify, just allow the thought to happen, and then taking action every single day to reduce the pain or the response to that thought, to that pressure, to that root, to the root problem. If you can fix the root problem, it makes it so much easier to take that action, to make it easier for you along the way. It's like, would you rather take out a tree from its roots, like just literally rip it apart? I don't care if you use like machines, whatever you're using. Or would you just chop it along the grain, allow it to drop, and then put it on, like the back of your car? I'm talking like a small tree. Like, would you just rip out a small tree from the ground? Or would you cut along it? If you cut along it, that root is still there. The root is still there. You might have the tree, the massive chunk of it. Yeah, you might have that, but that root is still there. It would be better to rip out the root. Once you've ripped out the root, that whole tree is non-existent. That anxiety, that burden, that depression, that stress, that moment where you was struggling, that problem that you was facing, the pain, that anguish on your face, the emotions, your blood boiling, your face sweating, you're on your last knees. Once you rip out that root, like once the root is gone, it's so much easier to take action to replace these subconscious responses, these subconscious feelings, these subconscious emotions. It's so much easier to take action consciously to replace them with positive responses, with positive feelings, with positive emotions. Is it easy to remove a root? No, it's not. It's easier to cut alongside the tree. So much easier to just cut the tree and then stack them up and put them on. But that tree is just gonna grow back. It's gonna rain, the sun will shine, and eventually that tree will become a full tree. Now, I'm not saying like don't grow your tree. Like grow your tree, guys, but don't grow bad trees. Remove all the bad trees from your garden. Take them out from the root. Never let them be seen again. Make paper out of them. And don't ever recycle them. Can you I've always asked myself this question. Can you make a bad situation good? Like, can you make a bad root good? Can I make this tree, this bad tree good? Can I make these bad thoughts good? Can I make these bad emotions good? Can I make this anxiety good? Absolutely. Of course you can. But if you are if you are struggling and you know you're struggling because of this one tree, would it be better to waste more time trying to make this bad thing good? Or would it just be better to completely eradicate it? And maybe this bad tree is the reason that you can't elevate to the next step. Maybe this bad tree is the reason why you're still stuck. Maybe this bad tree is the reason why you still have anxiety symptoms, negative anxiety symptoms. If you could just pull out that tree today, find the root cause of your problem. Find that thing that worries you the most, that causes you to be depressed, that causes you to hiccup. Find that thing. Find that thing that is the root problem and rip it out. Now you're probably wondering, oh, how do I rip the tree out? Not literally, guys. You're not literally pulling a tree out, but what you are doing is you are taking action, conscious action. You are, if anything, the best thing I can tell you right now, like actionable step, become more self-aware. Just literally every single day, pay more attention to what you do and how you respond. Literally, that's all you need to do. Don't think like, oh, I need to make this better or anything. Just literally, guys, pay more attention to how your body responds. Live your normal day, but just be more aware of how your body responds to certain things. If your posture is bad, pay attention to it. If you feel a weird tingling sensation in your heart or your lungs or inside your body near your chest area, pay attention to it. If you feel the same in your belly, pay attention to it. If you even like feel a tingling sensation in your hands or your feet, your toes, your fingers, pay attention. Pay attention to every single detail that happens into your body. And be curious. Be curious as these things happen. Why is this thing happening? Why is my body responding in this way? Why am I hiccuping? Why am I getting these negative thoughts? Why am I still thinking about this problem that happened 10, 20 years ago? And why does it still have such an emotional grip on me? And the more you start to ask yourself these questions, funnily enough, the world will help you because it's almost like you're digging, like you're digging, and you are finding that treasure chest at the bottom. But you just need to remove the root of the tree first. That root of the tree needs to go, and that tree needs to go. And if you just keep digging, you'll find your treasure chest. But you just need to be attentive. You need to be. It's not easy. Like a lot of people, I see it in literally the world. I see people are just so indulged in everything else that's happening around them, rather than just honing in, being focused on their hair and now, what's happening in this present moment. I'm telling you, genuinely, if you could just improve being more in the presence, being more aware of your body, if you can just literally focus on that thing alone, just being more present, more in the moment, having more clarity over your thoughts, being self-aware or just aware in general, that awareness is so important. Once you start to, because remember, this is something that can be learned and you can actually get better at becoming self-aware. So don't just think, oh, I'm already self-aware. Like a lot of people think, oh yeah, I'm self-aware already. Are you really? If you got a phone call right now, you'd probably jump up and your heart rate would start beating and and I don't say this to like have a go at you. I say this because most of the time these are the things I struggle with. And if I struggle with these things, 10 times out of 10 you probably do as well, because we're all human beings. And what I've always learned to realize is that nothing's actually like as bad as you think it is. If it's in your mind, if it's an emotion, if you're in a safe place and you feel scared or you feel nervous, just remember nothing's actually as bad as it seems. This is just a bodily reaction or a response. This is a subconscious response to something I did 10 minutes ago, to something I did or thought about or had an emotion about 15, 20 minutes ago, 1 hour, yesterday, last night, last week, last month. Something you did, something I did, caused us to have this bodily reaction. And we can rid ourselves from this. Remember, it always takes conscious actions to change subconscious responses. I'll repeat that. It takes conscious actions to change subconscious responses. Check out my Discord link, first link in the description. It's been your boy Paul Khadar. I hope you guys enjoyed and gained value from this video. I love you guys all, and we out. Peace.